That should be close. Yes, correct. Okay. So what I would do, based on that dose distribution there, and if I wanted to even it out a bit, I want to put a wedge in this. Okay. Now, by doing so, I want the heel, or the thick end, down here, with the toe, thin end going that way, right? So it's like a pizza slice pointing up to the sky. So we'll use this beam to get a modifier. And I actually thought about this after we left on Monday, but even though I told you you could use them, I made the assumption you already knew what they were, and I didn't think about it. Maybe something called it. Okay, no wedge. You're going to select. These are hard wedges that we no longer have. Okay? Oh, shoot, you guys don't have no wedges. Okay, now I see the disconnect. Are we not in 16.2 on this? Yeah. No, this is perfectly fine. EDW motorized wedges are the same function, just a different methodology of doing it. We don't use them in the clinic so much anymore, but it's fine.
This is a bolt one machine.
Oh, is that? That's why. Thank you. I knew there had to be a reason. Let's do that. Let's fix that. Thank you. Yeah. Let's select. You know, you have verse 18. So we'll just convert our units to verse 18. Now we should have access to it. So under no wedge, you've got most. See how everything went away except motorized? There we go. And you know how to use those, right? I mean, okay. So then, show me, Nick. Show me on all 6 of my beams. And show me the proper weighting for each one. Okay. So it's inserted a wedge, but looking at this, it doesn't look like the orientation is correct, right? If we were to look at this in a 3D VOR, which we will, we want to make sure the orientation is correct. It will show you. Okay. See how the Y1 jaw, these motorized wedges are always going to originate on the Y1 jaw. So it's showing you the heel of the wedge and the toe of the wedge, okay? Based on our isodose distribution, this should be rotated 90 degrees, right? Because we want the heel back here in this part of the brain with the toe going up toward the anterior, so it's pushing the dose anterior, right? And that's what it's going to do. It's going to push the dose towards the toe of the wedge, always. Depending on how much weight you put on that wedge, depends on how much it's going to push. That's where the balance is. So in this case, because Electa has the motorized wedge, and it's fixed to the Y1 jaw, you have to position the Y1 jaw to do what you want the wedge to do. It's a pain. We don't like it. We much prefer AEW because you actually had Y1, Y2 choice, and you didn't have to flip everything around as much. You could just flip the wedge in those axes. So in this case, did you use regular blocking where you just expanded off of it?
No.
So you did a PTV,
Yes,
then you
I
did
did the
expansion.
ultrasound, then I did the manual.
Okay. So in this case, let's just do this. It's easy to fix. So we want to change that, right? So we know under geometry, we've got to get the Y1 jaw over here, and that's the collimator issue. Thinking 50-50 chance. Everyone gets one right or wrong? I'm always wrong. Always wrong. Should have done better. Please don't ever go to Vegas with me, ever. I don't use your money. So now the orientation is correct. We have to fix that field size. So the block probably rotated with it. Yeah, it did. So then we can just clear that up. You can delete it. Right? You can add it. You can do a PTV reel. Is that what yours was?
Yes.
And you can do. I'm looking for, I can't see. There it is, thank you. You do one. So then you just, once you've done that, it's redone your block, just pull your jaws out to match your field edge, because you don't want MLCs defining the field edge. Never, never. So that's good there. So I still got a little bit of spill over here, so now you can go to modifier. options. Slide it over, and you push leaves the block, and you open it up. And then you can analyze it to see if you want to center or average. Really shouldn't matter that much. Center is fine, and just move your stuff around. So that block is good. Now, Y1-wise, this block is in the correct plane to push that dose up. So this angle here, I believe you can actually take it all the way down to, I think, less than 10 actually. It starts, yeah, I'm going to say you can go all the way down to 5, all the way up to a 60 to give you an effective wedge of that. But what you can do is once you've got it in the plane and you've computed all your dose and you've got your distribution even, but you want to start pushing weight around with the wedges, you can just click on your beams and just increase or decrease this number and watch the dose change in real time. Okay? So in this case, it's a small field. So the smaller the field, the larger your wedge angle needs to be, because the central aspect, the central location of your wedge, where it aligns to the central axis, is defined as a 1, the number 1. You go thinner, the transmission factor increases. Thicker, it decreases on the standard wedge. Same kind of applies to this. The smaller the field, the larger percentage of the wedge you need to use in that field. This is giving you an effective wedge. So it's telling you it's a 19-degree wedge. So usually I'm going to do something like 30 to start, something like this, and then you can increase them up there. So let's save this. And even though it's a different vault, it might still compete in this kind of seal. So we can continue. Okay, so just by putting that wedge in, you remember before this was like a big dip here? So now it's fairly even, but we're still heavily weighted on this side. So now it becomes a balance of weighting per beam. Kind of hard to see without knowing what exactly we've got on here. Okay, control move, I'll do display, so it's kind of squishy. Purple, 52, 3. You got to be careful about your locked and unlocked. You can change your weight manually here and watch your doses change here in this window. Beams that you don't want to put extra weighting on, of course, you're going to lock them because you don't want to contribute more to that. It looks to me like purple and light yellow are our culprits here. What do we got in this? So let's unlock them all. So purple, we're going to lock. And 73 is that one, we're going to lock. We're just take a percent or two off of each one initially. Redistribute it among the other ones until we get rid of this, if we can. And there's still a lot more going on here. Let's see. I have to check energies and everything. So basically, outside of the box or whatever shape it's being formed, depends on the beams you have. You have the box, you have a star shape, it could be one of them shapes with multiple beams on it. You don't really want your 70 or 50% should not be outside of that box. Okay? So if we look at this, we should be seeing, that's 90%. Right? 42, that's 54, close enough. You shouldn't see this out here. Okay? It should all be confined. Because that tells me that either these two beams, like this one is coming here and this one coming here, are carrying too much dose. Okay? Or the energy, maybe a 6, and maybe, I don't know if there's a 6 over here, maybe you can change, okay, this might need to be changed to 18, okay, once you convert it to versus 60. So you want 6s on this side, you probably want 18s on this side, okay? It's not going to dump as much dose here. Once you get that done, and you've gotten the shape that you want, then ideally your 100% isodose should fill the box square. So that's where your wedges are going. So although I've moved the dose up, and now from top to bottom it's pretty good, any beams that you have that are like this direction, right? If you come in now and put a wedge on this one with the toe here and the heel here, you start driving that over this one, okay? And if it starts breaking up again, you can either increase this wedge angle, or on the opposite side, duplicate it, put in another wedge because it's a different energy, it's got a little bit of a different effect, and do that and have a smaller percentage on there for a smaller effect. It's give and take. These are usually, you set it, you compute it, you look at it, and then you say, well, it's kind of some little, you gotta get the square in it, and you got a square, kind of a puzzle thing, right? You gotta make a picture out of all the scrambled. Yeah, that's what this is. It's a puzzle piece. You gotta move everything around until it does what you want it to do. Now, if you find that you do have too much dose here, maybe you drop that beam, right? Maybe you don't need to contribute dose from this side. Just get rid of it. Way you do that, put a zero weight on it, see what happens. Redistribute the weight amongst your other beams and see if it doesn't clean it up. But it's a matter of getting the balance of your dose where you want it, and then utilizing the wedges in the right direction at the right amount of weight to just pin it all square. All right? That's where you're at with that. Yeah, but I think a lot of this has got to do with energies. Anything on this side needs to be an 18. 10 maybe, but definitely I would say 18. More equipment? Yeah, but thickness is changing it, then maybe I'm just blowing snow, right? There's always that possibility. Where is it? Red and
Green.
yellow, green, and purple, right? So let's just do that real quick. Let's go ahead and convert them all over here. I wish there was a redo all, right? Wouldn't it be great? This thing, another redo right here. 15, switch this thing, reverse that. Long, reverse that, reverse that. Is that the one we were going to change also to 19? At least that way we're all going the same direction. Did I go 18? Maybe I changed my time. Let's do computes. It's like 100 got bigger. So that's why I mentioned coverage. I started getting a little hot in here. So that's what's coming. You have to balance out your weighting. You may not even need those beams. You can zero them out, see what it looks like. Also, even though you have an isocenter, because depending on where you put your isocenter, we talked about clearance issues. You don't necessarily have to calculate your isocenter. Since you don't have to do hand calcs, you can always drop it in calculator. Okay? So maybe on this one, because I'm going to use 18s or whatever on this side, I just take a top point and drop it like right there. You know, it's kind of even out the contribution it's needed from either side, and you go back and drop it in the 10s. Those are the other things you got to kind of think about. And you said, how many beams do you have? 6? Yeah, so I think that's a fair amount of beams. I think that as long as you've got at least a centimeter margin around your pt2, it's just going to be a matter of adjusting it.
I didn't know if you said that
Yeah, so
in here, but then I thought you said that you can go less than that.
you can, once you get the plan. Can't do it at first.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're trying to do it less without your coverage, that's going to hurt you. Once you get a nice distribution, and let's say you're close on your brainstem, for instance, and you think you can block it a little bit without damaging the plant, then you can go into those beams that are passing through the brainstem before it hits the target and shape it out a little bit to try and drop some of that dose. Then you can play with your weighting again to reestablish what you have. You don't want to be too conservative in your initial beam setup, because a lot of that has got to do with how your plan looks. If you have a 1 centimeter margin around your PTE, you're also not allowing all that backscatter to build up, which actually helps your plan. The tighter your beams, the less you'll notice. After a while, you'll start to notice that if you don't give enough margin to something, when we say 50% goes into the treatment field, right? Well, if you actually look at it and zoom it up, that's not true. I mean, your 50% is nowhere near to the edge of that field. It's still probably a good 5 or 6 millimeters inside that field. So you're looking at 25% and 30% at the edge. So that's what you got to think about. For every 5 or 6 millimeters you're chopping off, you're probably chopping off 10-15% of your dose that contributes to the plant. Okay. Start 1.52, get a plant. If you can shrink it down, start carving and shaping and recompute, see what it looks like, and take it. Then if you start tight, then it'll be negative. That's a good point. So, non-traditional, or what we call 2D planning, ideally, and it doesn't even really hold true for this, but ideally, your field sizes should be the same. Like if you take a beam, you set it up, you copy and oppose it, and you go. Problem is if you have a patient that's 30 centimeters thick, your isocenter is on the anterior vertebral body, so you've got maybe a 15 and 20, 40 centimeters thick, 15 and a 25, you've got divergence, right? So this beam coming from the top is going to diverge wider through the spinal canal versus the PA beam, which is going to be short. So you have to open that up to match a point the physician wants to match. With these, you can cone in as tight as you need to be as long as you maintain that margin, right? And that's the beauty of doing 3D. None of the fields have to be the same. Collimator doesn't even have to be the same. We talk about the couch. Even if you rotate the collimator to adapt to it, it's still a coplanar plane. So you can do that too. So your collimators can be